Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, Spilling the Tea Leaves. My name is Michelle. You can find me online at rememberlovehealing.com, and you can also find me on my favorite website, and that is Instagram at rememberlove. And yes, I know I disappeared again, and I'm trying not to do that anymore. And my sincerest apologies, and thank you for your patience while I get this underway again. As you know, there is a pandemic, and for a lot of us, our schedules and our routine were part of our discipline. And unfortunately, now that that's gone, I don't even know what day it is. It's like, I honestly have no idea what day it is. I think right now it's Wednesday. Is it? I hope it's Wednesday. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a little difficult for me trying to carve out time for the podcast, which I absolutely love doing, and getting my daughter's schoolwork going. She's still too young to kind of be left unsupervised, so I have to like watch the lessons with her to try to explain it to her because she does need a little bit of extra help trying to get started. She is not a, she loves to read, but she's not super excited about math or writing. Anyway, but I'm here, and today's topic, it's a little different from what I usually talk about. Most of the time, I'm trying to teach you about something or try to educate you about something that we might not be familiar with, or if you're coming from an area of traditional religion and you might be uncomfortable. That's usually my jam. And speaking of which, before I get started on today's subject, I am doing an online learning course for those who are interested in learning about crystals and crystal healing. So if you're interested in joining the course, please let me know. You can email me at rememberlovehealing@gmail.com, or you can just send me a DM on Instagram at rememberlove. I'm pretty easy to find. So yeah, it's going to be like a basics beginners course. What's charging, what's programming, what's cleansing, what to use, what crystals to use, talking about chakras, the dis or imbalance, excuse me, as far as what chakras correlate with what and how to get them going again, right? So anyway, so today's podcast, it's going to be about energy healers and the stereotype that they are usually anti medicine. Now, the reason I want to do this particular episode, I did a blog post about it yesterday and it got a lot of traction on Instagram. Um, and it kind of blew me away because one of the biggest platforms I use is responsible and ethical crystal healing, meaning that while we are an energetic being, we're also a physical entity. And sometimes, if there is an imbalance and if it goes on long enough, we need intervention. And medicine is a good thing. We need medicine, right? But two separate occurrences happened last week and the week prior that kind of prompted me to want to talk about this and write about this. And one of them was, I'll give you both examples. The first one was a lady that I saw posting on Instagram. She is very educated individual who deals with herbs and their healing properties. Some people might refer to her as a green witch. Herbologist is actually the proper term. She does deal with herbs, their properties, or healing properties, right? And she made a comment, something along the lines of, if, what was it? Something like, if you are just into essential oils and don't know what you're doing, please step back and let the people that are actually trained know or trained do some work. She also asked people not to believe like all the conspiracy theories that are out there. There's so much misinformation, unfortunately, about the occurring virus. And I'm one of those people. Please don't believe everything you hear because there's a lot of misinformation. And as somebody who comes from a healthcare background. My background, I studied healthcare sciences. That's where my bachelor's degrees from. That's what I've been passionate about. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom, but yeah, whatever. There's a lot of misinformation, unfortunately, and it's usually those who are not, uh, who say they do their research that are just looking up things that are going to validate what their beliefs are, right? They're not going to look up things about what the other side is saying or an actual clinical trial. Anyway, so this person posted something like that on her Instagram. And when I say this woman was dragged, she was, I mean, just the most appalling things were written on her page. Some of them were so bad. One of them even said, I hope you're not a mother and I hope that you don't vaccinate your children. I hope you don't have kids so they don't have to be vaccinated. And she was a mom, is a mom. Um, you're horrible. I'm not following you. I'm unfollowing you. How dare you? Um, Vaccines are bad. This is just a government conspiracy. Uh, what else were they saying? I mean, just awful, awful things about her or as a person, dogging her business, just disgusting things. And I'm like, geez, is this for real? And I went back and of course, because I'm a curious person, I wanted to see who these people were. Like, who is so blatantly just going in and talking these awful things to this person. Even if you don't believe in what they're saying, just keep going. I mean, don't be vile. Vile is the word. So I did that, and I went and clicked through these people's Instagram pages that were very, very public. And of course, I'm not going to repeat their names here because that's not what I'm about. And these people were Reiki healers, they were spiritual coaches, mentors, therapists. They were quote unquote light workers, or what I like to refer as the positive vibe gang. I mean, these are people that, if you look at their Instagram, they're preaching about love and compassion, and they're talking about nature and meditation and positivity, and they were leading the horde in attacking this woman. She had over 300 comments on her post, right? And I was just like, oh God, that's disgusting. Let me make it a point to remember who these people are, to not accept, to not engage with them. Week later, I'm on Reddit. I love Reddit. Um, and a lady made a comment, and the comment was not a good comment, right? Somebody had mentioned something about wearing a mask, and she's like, "Well, I'm a nurse too, and I don't think people should wear masks in public. I think it's detrimental." And I argue that point, right? Because I do believe that wearing a mask has its benefits as long as it's done properly, and I don't think there's enough education on how to work a mask. There's definitely chance for infection. Anyway, so that wasn't the point. The point was, she said she was a nurse, whatever her personal opinion was. But then somebody clicked on her page, on her Twitter bio, she had something like crystal healer and light worker. When I say this woman was also dragged on Reddit, and I kind of understand Reddit a little more because Reddit has notoriously been anti-energy healing, like crystal healers or people that work with crystals or believe in crystals are kind of really looked down upon. And they don't get it. And I kind of expected that from Reddit, right? Like, I think there's a stereotype that follows people who are in the spiritual realm and are into energetic healing and understand a little bit more of what energetic healing is about. I get that. I get why they're against it. When somebody doesn't understand something, they'll just attack it. Um, but it just kind of triggered something in me where I'm like, wow, there definitely is a stereotype where people believe that those who are energetic healers or work with crystals or Akashic records or do work with tarot cards, pendulums, whatever, there is this stereotype that think that these people are anti-vaxxers, anti-medicine, anti-government, anti-everything. And I believe it has a lot to do that we are a very inclusive group, and we're just very open, and it's really easy to just lump everybody into one pile and then give him a big opinionated brushstroke and just say, oh, you are a energetic healer, then you are an anti-vaxxer, anti this, anti that, right? So I struggle with that a lot. And I feel like I'm a level headed person. I went to college, I graduated, I always was at the top of my class, I did really well in school. I love reading. Like, I like getting other people's opinions, learning about other cultures. I travel a lot. So when I tell people that I believe in energetic healing, they just sometimes, to my face, they don't say anything. They're like, oh, okay, fine. Sometimes they're curious. Other times they just don't say anything and stay quiet. And I don't push it. I don't say anything else because obviously you're not interested. But then later on during a conversation, they might come up with like, oh, but you probably don't believe in vaccines, right? You're anti-vax. And I'm like, no, I actually think vaccines are important. And my child is vaccinated on time with all her vaccines when they're due. I don't believe vaccines cause autism. Or I don't believe this is a big conspiracy theory, because guess what? This virus is also happening all over the world, and it's not just some giant ploy in the U.S. elections to get one person in. Um, are we handling it well? I don't think so. I don't think the U.S. is handling it well, but that's my personal opinion. Nothing to do with who I am or what I choose to believe in. That's just an opinion, like everybody has one. So I wrote this blog post, and it triggered a few people. And it triggered also a response from the community, um, of people that do think the way I do. And it got me to thinking, like, I mean, why is it that there are so many people that believe that we just are anti everything, anti traditional medicine? And it's because those who are tend to be the loudest. And there is a large portion of our community that does believe that the government is out to get them. Big pharma is evil, that the doctors don't know what they're doing, or the doctors are out to poison you. And I don't think that. I think there are good doctors and bad doctors. I think sometimes we just have to do our research and see, hey, this doctor really listens to me. I have a great doctor. I love her. She's amazing. She actually sits and listens to me when I have a problem. And her first go-to is not, here's a pill. It's, hey, let's try to figure out how to change your lifestyle and fix this. So I don't think that big pharma's out to get us. And I think it's time that we change this. Like, I really feel like it's time that we take control and change the narrative. And that we shouldn't be all brushed under the rug as crazy people, as if I can use a term. I don't like that word. But yeah, people think that we're absolutely off our freaking rockers. And we're not. We're really not. We do believe that there is everything is energy and we're all energy. But we also have to understand that we are energy in an actual physical body. And sometimes our physical body, when it's not taken care of for a long time, or genetics, there is such a thing as genetics, can kind of fail us. And we need help. We need medicine. We need doctor. We need intervention. So why is such a large portion of our community holding this giant billboard saying we are new age, we are spiritual, we are anti medicine, anti vax? It is, in my humblest opinion, that in order for us to do the work that we're trying to do as people who, like, I feel that we are placed here to help elevate the collective, to help bring positive change, to help people to learn to love themselves, to work in conjunction with themselves, with the divine, with Mother Nature, with each other, why are we alienating other people and each other with our, I struggle with the word wrong or polarizing opinion. If I go to my Instagram right now, actually, I'm going to do that. So I am going to open up my Instagram and I'm going to read a couple of the comments from the post that I made where it says, not all alternative healers are anti medicine. And if you haven't seen it, if you haven't been on Instagram, I invite you to take a look. One of them, which really struck me, and I love this person. I don't know if I can say her Instagram handle. If you go to my post, you can see it. She's one of my favorites. Anyway, she says, "Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater." Having just come through cancer, and as someone that practices alternative healthcare, use everything available to you. Take the best and leave the rest. I would be dead if it weren't for what I call white cost medicine. Likewise, I would be dead if alternative medicine had not taught me how to stand up for myself. And this is true. Another one, speak loud, sister. It's sad just because people claim that they're spiritual or healers doesn't mean that they actually have done their own work. This is another point that I'm going to come up to. Compassion is key, open mindedness is essential, and that is true nature of healing. And boy, does this world need some healing right now. I mean, this person, I'm going to say her name because I love her. She's one of the people that I look up to. Her name is Radical Reiki. If you haven't looked her up, if you don't know who she is, please, I urge you to go see her. She's a Reiki master and she's amazing. She says, it's disgusting. So much false light garbage. No critical thinking. It's shameful. So many of these healers lacking basic human compassion. And that's it. I think maybe that's the point. There's so many people that are preaching light work and compassion and love, and then they're just derailing us. That's the word. They're derailing us with their attacks because they're attacking. I mean, if you choose to have your opinion about medicine, um, I understand that everybody has their different opinions. I respect that. I don't adhere to it. I don't think it's the correct one, but an open dialogue where help me understand, I'll help you understand. Everybody has different opinions. Is vanilla or chocolate better? In my opinion, one can save your life, and the other one can potentially put it at risk. And whatever the person chooses to see, which one's vanilla, or which one's chocolate, or save your life, they can decide on. But you don't see me, you don't see people rallying around medicine. You see people rallying around this idea of that there are big pharmas out to get you. Um, and I think one of the things is that I've traveled around the world enough. I've seen it firsthand in third world countries where communities and mothers are burying their children because they didn't have access to basic health care or didn't have access to vaccines that have been eradicated in the US. And these women would gladly have given up their lives if they can save their children, while people with privilege are sitting in the US complaining and fighting not to give their children the vaccines. And not only does I understand your personal opinion if you choose not to vaccinate your children, but a lack of vaccination for your child, that only if you choose to do that, that's on you, but it also puts other people's children at risk. If you remember, well, I've had a lot of friends that have children with immunocompromised systems, and it's scary to think that one child can potentially carry a disease that can put your child at risk. Anyway, enough with the anti-vax. But medicine is important. I do believe medicine is important, and that is my thing that I'm fighting for right now. This is something that it's huge on my site, and I believe that in order for us to be responsible energy healers, we have to see all facets of the human body. We are energetic beings with a physical body. In my perfect, absolute dream world, your mental health practitioner, your therapist, your doctor, and your energy healer would be housed under the same roof. One roof, one person, not even one person, maybe not one person, but under one roof. And you were all everything to make you a complete, healthy individual would be there accessible to you. That's my dream world, right? Now, the other point is the toxicity within our own community, within the spiritual and the new age community, whatever you want to call it. And that's a big one because, again, social media just makes everything handy. Social media just makes everything there and available and accessible. And tomorrow I can decide that I don't want to do this anymore and I'm going to be, let's say, completely Star Wars obsessed. And now my Instagram is going to be completely loaded with Star Wars stuff. And I could put myself as a, I'm using Star Wars as an example because my husband's in the other room playing. I could say, well, I am an expert in all Star Wars trivia, and that's my header. And now everything is inundated with Star Wars stuff, and I can post all my pictures of when I've gone to Disney to the Star Wars, whatever. Um, and yeah, now all of a sudden I am a self-labeled, self-professed Star Wars expert, and I use Star Wars because it's easy. And that's it. Social media has just allowed me to completely change my persona. And if you were new to my Instagram, you would not have any clue that this is what crystal healing or energetic healing is what I did before. And I feel like that's what's happening a lot. So with social media, the one with the prettiest Instagram account, the prettiest I don't know what's new now. Instagram, TikTok. The one with the most followers because they managed to post the nicest videos or the funniest videos is the loudest voice. And and I hate to say this, but sometimes a lot of this, all the crystals and oracle cards, sometimes it's a trend for a lot of people. It becomes a trend. It's trendy. It's cool. Being a new age is cool. Running in the middle of the river barefoot, trying to invoke river deities, it's cool. It's a cool picture. It's a cool Instagram. Being witchy vibes, it's cool. And you see all the clothing articles and big businesses trying to like get their cut and make money. Who was it? Was it Urban Outfitters who was selling like a pile of, I think it was like selenite sticks or something, and they were selling it for about $150. And selenite sticks are like not expensive. They're not $150. But yeah, every large companies are trying to like get a cut. I get gifts a lot of like, oh look, I found this notebook at the store and it has a bunch of crystals on it, which I love, but it's a cool thing right now. And for some, for some it is an awakening. It's like, oh my God, this is something that I can get into. This is something that I want to learn. This is something that I want to practice. And for others, it's just a phase. And I'm not saying, no, I am saying it. I want to tell people to just be very careful and mindful about those that you follow. While they may preach, you know, they may preach love and light and positivity, and they may have a great message. Their actions speak louder than words. They are not practicing what they're preaching. On the contrary, they are being very aggressive. Some are called spiritual gatekeepers, where they're keeping others away and letting them know, well, you're not doing it right, so you can't sit with us. And I know I've briefly spoke about this before, and I've tried to avoid getting into the heaviness of it, but yet here we are. And I think it's just something that I need to speak on. Um, for those of you who are coming into this for the first time and are learning to explore, I invite you not to let other people scare you. I invite you to be mindful of who you choose to follow. If you've heard the term, if the vibes are off, you're out, get out. If the vibes are off for me, if it's something that I'm saying, you're just like, oh God, I really don't like her. I don't like her hair. Her teeth are too big. I don't like her message. I don't believe what she's saying. Then unfollow me. That's fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I completely, completely get that. My goal is for you to find people that empower you, people to lift you up, people to trigger healing in you. My goal for you is for you to heal, to empower you to empower others. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Even as an individual who is healing, you are able to trigger other people to heal. There are a lot of people that are in this for financial gain. There are a lot of people in this for because of mental health concerns, mental health issues. There's a lot of spiritual bypassing that occurs, and this is the instance where we um, have certain uh, issues surrounding us, and instead of dealing it head on with, for example, a mental health professional, which I highly recommend everybody goes to a therapist, instead of dealing with the issues head on, they choose to go around the issues and say, well, I'm just going to focus on my heart chakra and everything's going to be fine. And that's not how the way it works, because those issues are going to continuously come back and bite you in the ass until you get your shit together. And by shit together is by seeking help and learning how to rationalize and work through whatever traumas or concerns that you've had. We've all had traumas. We're all going through a collective trauma now. So, mental health, people with issues with mental health, people that are in it for financial gains, for notoriety. There's an ego driven effect sometimes. And I've seen this so much. I've seen this so much. And I, this is probably the scariest one for me, where we all know people can be very, very charming, and we all love a charming individual. But there's been instances where I have seen within our own community very, very large accounts attack other large accounts because they feel threatened. I've seen large accounts, large people within the community. I say large accounts because a lot of this happens, excuse me, on Instagram. And I'm privy to a lot of the stuff on the background. So, privy meaning that I'm in like a couple of groups and there's screenshots shared galore. And I've seen I've seen, and let me stop saying accounts, individuals who call themselves gurus, who call themselves teachers and mentors, attack other teachers and mentors and healers for the dumbest things. I'm not even going to repeat them here. Just asinine things. She copied me. No, she copied me. She stole my picture. And it's so frustrating. And and they say vile things. And I'm not saying that a person who's in this realm, right, in this community, is always love and light and positivity. But what I am saying is that they're not in it to help you. They're in it to tell you that you're less than, and how can you essentially help them. So how much money can you give them? How, if you have a I'm trying to think. I've seen people say, oh, well, you have a curse on you. I can help you. Just go ahead and DM me or PayPal me or Venmo me or whatever, X amount of money, and I'll help you out. I'll put a protection spell on you. I'll do this. I'll do that. Oh, you think you have your third eye is off? Well, here, pay me and I'll balance it. You don't need to do anything. And that's the reoccurring theme, right? And sometimes they even go as far as saying, I'm special because I'm the only one in this world who can X, Y, and Z. Or I'm different from everybody else because I am the only one who can do this or see this or interact with this or sense this. And that's not true. That's a power move and that's a manipulative move in order for them to separate themselves from the herd, or from the rest, and put themselves in a higher position, and then giving you the sense of, well, I need this person because this person is the only one that can do this. And that happens a lot. Cult leaders make you feel less than a person. They make you feel that you need them in order for you to be complete, or in order for you to achieve a certain level or achieve ascension, or whatever, fill in the blank here. Um, and that's not true. Like I want to bring that point home to you, that you can do it too. My personal goal, the goal for what I have for Remember Love Healing, the goal that I have for myself, for my business, for those around me, is to empower you so you don't need me or anybody else anymore. As in, you no longer need your healer, you don't need your mentor. I want to be able to empower you to say, "Whew, my heart, I am sensible and sensitive enough to feel my own energy. And I know that my heart chakra is off balance. I've had issues that have triggered this. I know I can bring this back into balance by doing X, Y, and Z, and meditating and going inward and seeing how I can be the best version of myself and help myself out of this. I know that this is too, or I know this is that too much for me. I am going to seek an appointment with my mental health care practitioner, or this pain is obviously no longer, it's gone past a physical, energetic level, it's gone into physical, so I choose to look for a doctor here. Um, and that you're able to do that, and that you're also able to trigger other people to have that same reaction or have that knowledge. And how can I help myself, how can I teach myself, or I want to learn this because I want to be able to bring balance into my life. I want you not to need, I want you not to need somebody else to do it for you. I want you to be able to do it yourself, to empower yourself to do it. You're always going to have questions, and you might not have clarity, and questions, you can ask questions and somebody will be there to help you, right? But I don't believe in the idea of constantly going out and getting reaffirmation or validation through somebody else, through saying, well, my spiritual mentor told me X, Y, and Z. Now I need to see him again to see if I can get a little more clarity. I want you to get your own clarity. I want you to be able to work with these tools and these skills so you can get the answers that you seek, because everybody has the ability to do this. Everybody has their own spiritual side. Everybody has their own connection. Everybody has their connection to the divine. If you need the tools, if you're starting out and you need somebody to say, hey, I really want, actually, let's scratch that. Let me give you how I work. If you come to me, I do Reiki, energy sessions. So I do long distance Reiki. And yeah, I can do a Reiki session all day. We got you. When I send you the report, I will say, yes, I did your energy session because maybe the person doesn't know how to do a Reiki. They're not interested in it. They just want to try it out. They need some balance. Cool. I can help you with that. I can help you balance your energies. I can bring your chakras back to harmony and center. But I will also send you a long ass report telling you how you can also do it at home. What you need to do to bring back your energetic centers, what foods you need to eat, what crystals you can use, what meditations to use, what affirmations to use, what colors. I mean, I will give you a list of things that you can work with and that you can do at home and not rely on me to help you bring things back into center. Because what you're doing is you're relying on an outside source to bring you balance. And I want you to bring balance to yourself. And I've had clients come back over and over again, and that's fine. Sometimes we need a little extra work. Sometimes you need it a year later, 5 years later. You just like the way it feels. That's awesome and that's great. I've had people come to me where they're completely balanced and cool and at peace. And they're like, hey, listen, I just like the way this feels. I like the energy. I like the energetic bath. It makes me feel good. It helps me rest. And I got you, babe. I can do that for you. Trust me. But if you continuously come to me with the same problem, with the same issues, I know that you're not doing the work and I will call you out on it. I will tell you. I would say, hey, we're having the same issues we did last time. What are you doing to help? What are you doing to help yourself? What are you doing to heal? 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, I haven't really worked on it, or I've just kind of been letting it go. So I just figured I can get another session. Sure, I can do another session, but you're just going to keep coming back. And I rather you help yourself because that's the goal, is for you to help yourself. So my goal is to empower you to self-heal and then trigger other people to start healing too. I think that's my rant for the day. I'm done. Um, I hope something resonated with you. If I triggered something in you, if you don't like what I said, um, I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking you and your beliefs. I feel that we need to be responsible, not everything is black or white. It's not, it really isn't. I think that we need to help find a balance with each other. I am in the beliefs of medicine is important, and if you think contrary, that's great. I feel free to send me a message. I will love to have a positive, open dialogue with you and let me know why I am so wrong or so right if you agree. Next week, I'm super excited because next week we have Z on, and Z is she's actually just an amazing human. She does Akashic Records, and I had a reading with her done a couple of days ago. Mind blowing. We laughed, we cried. It was my first experience with Akashic Records, and there was a lot that I had to digest. And my spirit team, let me have it and let me know that there's still issues that I am working with that I have not given myself the opportunity to work through. So that is what I am doing. But I will be interviewing her tomorrow, and that episode will be ready next week. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to DM me or send me a message at rememberlovehealing.com. If you're watching me on YouTube, this is probably the first YouTube video by myself. Sorry that you are looking at this while it is talking. I'm trying to figure out the setup. You can see me in my microphone and all that fancy jazz, but yeah, my face is still in it, so sorry. We've all gained a little bit during this lockdown. Let's see what else. And yeah, oh, and lastly, I am going to be archiving the first season of Spilling the Tea Leaves, and that is going to be done next week. So if there is an episode that you haven't listened to yet, when I say the first season, I mean the first half of the season. So if there is an episode that you haven't listened to yet, please do listen to it now. And I guess I'll do what every YouTuber says. Please like and share and subscribe and hit the bell button. If you're listening to me on your favorite podcast platform, make sure that you give us a like and a comment. It does help to get the message across. So I hope everybody is doing fabulous and we are in this together, and hopefully we'll get out of this soon because I'm going a little crazy. All right, guys. Thank you again for listening to your favorite podcast, Spilling the Tea Leaves. My name is Michelle Melo. You can find me at rememberlovehealing.com, or you can find me on my favorite platform, which is Remember Love on Instagram. Love and light, and I will see you next time. Bye.